an entire English colony vanished from North America, leaving behind only one word carved into wood. No bodies, no battle, no clear answer, just a disappearance that has haunted history for centuries. This is the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. Long before Jamestown, long before the United States existed, a group of English settlers came to the coast of what is now North Carolina to build a colony in the New World. They were men, women, and children, families, hopeful settlers, people sent to build a future. Instead, they became one of history's greatest disappearances. This is the story of Roanoke. In 1587, around 115 English colonists arrived on Roanoke Island. Their governor was John White. The colony was meant to establish a permanent English presence in the Americas. At first, things were difficult. Supplies were limited. Relations with local indigenous groups were complicated. The colony needed support from England if it was going to survive. So John White made a decision. He returned to England to gather more supplies and then planned to come back. But history had other plans. War with Spain and the crisis surrounding the Spanish Armada delayed his return. What should have been a short absence turned into a delay of years. When White finally returned to Roanoke in 1590, the colony was gone, not damaged, not burned in battle, not surrounded by bodies, just empty. The settlers had vanished. Buildings had been dismantled. The area showed signs of an organized departure, not a chaotic attack. And carved into a wooden post was a single word, CROATOAN. The word referred to Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras Island, as well as a local indigenous group with that name. White had previously arranged that if the colonists moved, they should leave a sign indicating where they had gone. So in one sense, the carving seemed like a clue. But for one reason or another, White never successfully mounted the full search he wanted. Weather, limited resources, and other complications prevented deeper investigation, and so the trail went cold. That silence is what turned Roanoke into legend. What happened to the settlers? One theory is that they simply relocated and were absorbed into nearby indigenous communities. This is one of the most widely discussed explanations. It makes sense of the carved word. It explains why there was no obvious sign of massacre. And over the years, there have been reports and archaeological hints suggesting some colonists may indeed have joined local groups. Another theory is far darker, that the colony was attacked, either by hostile forces, disease, starvation, or conflict. Over time, evidence may have been lost, scattered, or hidden by the environment itself. There are also hybrid theories. Maybe the colony split apart. Some integrated with indigenous communities. Others died trying to survive. Some may have attempted to move inland. Then come the more dramatic legends. Secret slaughter, supernatural disappearance, a curse on the colony. Some even imagine the settlers were taken by forces beyond ordinary history, but the truth may be more human and still just as haunting. Imagine being one of those settlers, cut off from England, waiting years for help that never came, food supplies running low, fear building, children growing up in uncertainty. Among them was Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. She became one of the most famous names linked to Roanoke, not because of what we know about her, but because of what we don't. She disappeared along with everyone else. That is part of what gives Roanoke its power. It wasn't just soldiers or explorers who vanished. It was families, children, entire lives erased so completely that history still cannot fully account for them. Over the centuries, archaeologists and historians have continued searching for answers. Artifacts, maps, and settlement traces have sparked debate. Some evidence suggests at least part of the colony may have moved to new locations, but no discovery has provided a final answer accepted by everyone. And so Roanoke remains suspended between history and mystery, not because no clues exist, but because none of them close the case. All that was left behind was an abandoned settlement, and one word carved like a whisper from the past. CROATOAN, a direction, A warning, a final message from people trying to survive. We may never know. The lost colony of Roanoke stands as one of the earliest and most chilling unsolved mysteries in American history. A whole community disappeared into the wilderness, and the world was left to wonder whether they were destroyed, rescued, absorbed, or simply forgotten. One colony, one carved word, and centuries of silence. This is Obsidian Archives.
Subscribe for more mysteries.